I saw an issue of American Style, 1997, and they had an article on polymer clay. And they had Kathleen Dustin, I believe, in there, and Elise Winters. And what I particularly remember is these fantastic teapots by Rebecca Zimmerman. Just love them. So I had never heard of it. I didn't know what this material was. And the interesting thing is, I didn't, a lot of people come from a crafting background, and I didn't. I didn't have any of that. And probably fairly quickly got into an interest in the textures and surface techniques, and been running with that now ever since. Remember, my husband and I were in the Caribbean, walking on the beach, talking about, and I was talking about how much I enjoyed making the textures, and I think he suggested, you know, maybe other people would like it. What about selling them? And actually, I just ran with that, and I have started already making notes. So I actually made the molds out of polymer clay, and I would pour resin in them. So I was working full-time and started this little side business, which I didn't really, you know, I expected to sell a few plates. It was, and that just took off a lot more than I thought. And so I would be hand pouring these resins, plates, each one, and I remember at points where, you know, the quantities were so high, and I'd be like almost in tears because I'd have my business partner, and I sell all my stuff through Shades of Clay, I think most people know, and she'd be like, oh, we need more, and I just, you know, because I'm working full-time and trying to do this. I did find somebody who was making them for me. I tried to find some way to have them automated, but there was just no way to automate these particular rigid texture plates. But I really wanted to keep the textures going. I saw a post on Daily Art Muse on the Zentangles, and I ordered the kit and tried it, and just was thrilled that I was actually producing something half decent from that. Did the research, found a manufacturer that basically turned it into a rubber stamp, and was able to kind of continue with that. And that's, I think I do okay on the business side, which a lot of artists I think don't. I have, yeah, I think some skills there or whatever, and this creative side, that, as I said, feels like it almost came out of nowhere. Just, it's amazing how much of a click this particular medium was for me. And initially, before I got into my computer science stuff, I went and took a fashion degree. And so that was a creative thing, but I was still on the business side. I was still going into the merchandising. And so, yeah, I've totally surprised myself and how that took, and how it continues to be there for me. We had a swap here, and we had an exercise in that swap, and that I think has actually taken me a little bit to another direction for me in the designs and shapes that I did for that, which are really new for me. And I just had a wonderful experience actually creating the swap items, and something I had to make 25 pendants, so that was a huge effort. I got to do something, one bake, and you know, I can produce fairly quickly. And so somewhere around that time, I was playing with the cutters, and I just had some scraps sitting there from after doing whatever I needed to do, and I thought, okay, that looks like an interesting shape. Started playing with it, twisting it, and came up with my first one. Both my husband and I, we don't have children, and basically we're fortunate enough to be able to quit our day jobs, which we were both actually fairly unhappy with at that point. It was really good timing for us, and we had planned it that once we hit a basic financial point, that we would kind of move to a smaller community and kind of semi-retire. And I knew what I was going to do, just jump into this full time. So that happened about 3 years ago. So we kind of went from the suburbs to Toronto out a little bit. Yeah, we both quit the jobs, whatever, and I just now am, you know, basically spend 100% of my time. And yeah, that's really helped me to concentrate. I feel like I'm just doing my best work now that I don't have the pressure of the day job and whatever, and can concentrate. I was actually a founder of the Southern Ontario Polymer Clay Guild, but in the move, I'm just too far away now. So I am actually a little isolated. There's not a lot of polymer clay people around me in Guelph. But what I've done is join actually two bead societies. So my local bead society, Grand River Bead Society, and the Toronto Bead Society. And so I'm, you know, it's a different world, but what it's done is helped me kind of with stringing and the various other components of putting things together. And it does give you this other perspective, and also playing with, I like fiber, you know, I've been playing with fiber cording and that sort of thing. So it's been influencing me in a different way that way. So, so now my focus kind of is the beaders and the people that are wanting to learn more, and the real people like from the beading world wanting to learn about polymer clay. So that's kind of what my upcoming workshops are concentrating on. And so that's why a lot of my work, I try to come from something that's really easy for those beginners, and try to make it that they can produce something really interesting fairly quickly from that. So